Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gridiron Network podcast. Week 1 of the NFL is officially in the books. We had some all-time classics this week. We're going to get into game recaps, pick-ems. We got some overreactions, underreactions, and as always, your guys' NFL hot takes. Harry, how are we feeling after the first week of NFL football?
Daniel Jones showed that he's a franchise quarterback for the next 10 years, and man, am I excited to watch these Colts now. Let's go. How are you doing? Let me ask you how you're doing. Are you good?
I'm not good. I appreciate you asking, but I'm not good. That was some of the worst football I've ever seen in my life in that game, and I put out some clips about it.
Yep.
I went through some film analysis. We're going to talk about it when we get into the game recaps, but I'm not a happy camper with Caleb Williams or Ben Johnson at the moment. But let's start off with some NFL over or under reactions. We've each got 3 that we have. We're going to say them. We're going to see, is it an overreaction, an underreaction? We're going to talk about it. You guys let us know below. Do you agree or disagree? So, Harry, you want to start off with your first over or under reaction?
Yeah, man. I'll start us off. So, the Packers are a top contender in the NFC. I know you love hearing that. And personally, I think that's an underreaction. As we know, they were my Super Bowl pick this year, and I don't think that was just a week 1 fluke. Micah only played 29 snaps, and man, they made the Lions look like a JV team. It was atrocious from the Lions offense, which I'll get into a little bit more later with one of my other over-under reactions. But I mean, man, the Packers just look good on both sides of the ball. Jordan Love, he played a good, efficient game, 16 for 22 for 188 and 2 touchdowns. And honestly, I really do think this team is only going to be better. The wide receivers, it was a little disappointing game for Matthew Golden, just from all the hype that we heard about. But Jaden Reed on a fractured foot still is doing pretty good. And man, I mean, I would hate to be another team in this division because this team looks scary.
Yeah, it pains me to say, but I fully agree with you. That's an underreaction. To me, they're one of the top teams, not just in the NFC, but in the NFL. And it pains me so much to say that because I just don't want it to be true, but it is. Jordan Love looked great. The defense looked fantastic. Jared Goff was seeing ghosts out there all game long. I mean, they looked amazing.
Dude, and that was just, like I said, Micah only played 29 snaps. Like, it's only going to get better for this defense, and that is just a scary thing for the rest of the NFL.
It truly is. And then, so I'll get into my next over under reaction. I've got the Chiefs will not win the AFC West this season. And honestly, I don't think that's an overreaction. I think the Chargers or the Broncos are taking the West this year. I think there's too many glaring holes in that Chiefs offense at the moment. Now, especially, you've got the Rice suspension, but now you've got Worthy, who I think it was a dislocated shoulder, it looks like, and he's going to miss quite a few weeks. I think that wide receiver room's just not good. They're not going to be able to compete with some of these better offenses in the AFC, and they won't win the division. I do still think, they'll be fine in the playoffs, but they're not winning that AFC West this year.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you just said that perfectly. I mean, they have Patrick Mahomes, so if they get into the playoffs, anything can happen. But, man, was that team just disappointing. Did you see how Xavier Worthy got hurt?
Yeah, off of Travis Kelce trying to be a little dirty.
Dude, he killed him. He literally just laid him out. And, dude, that happened, what was it? Last year, it was Mahomes that took out Rashi, and then he was out for the year too. So I don't know if they hate each other. Yeah, dude, seriously. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But, man, this offense is, what was it? Hollywood Brown, I believe, had 16 targets. It is 2025.
Yeah.
If Hollywood Brown is getting 16 targets, something is messed up there. And I know you were talking about Juju last week, and we saw him get some catches this week. But, man, when you have Hollywood Brown as your wide receiver 1, and Kelce, honestly, he was having a pretty crappy game until the touchdown. So it's going to be very interesting. But I do agree with your under or overreaction here.
Yeah, so I do quickly want to add, I was originally going to put this into an overreaction itself or a hot take in itself, but little legal issues going on with him. Do you think the Chiefs could trade for Tyreek Hill?
Dude, man, he was already complaining on the sideline, and me and you are both on the side. We don't think it's going to get much better for these Dolphins, and I really think there's a very good chance that Tyreek Hill asked for a trade, and what team would he be a better fit for than going back with the Chiefs?
Exactly, dude. I would 100% agree. The only thing is, I don't know what's going to happen with these. I didn't look into it too much, but I know it's something to do with an ex-wife or something like that. Some
One
allegations.
of
We'll
his
see if
ex-wives,
anything
yes.
comes of it. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to break that out there. But you get into your next overreaction.
Yeah, so we'll go into my next one. Another NFC North team. Actually, all three of them are. But the Lions are going to continue to struggle on offense without Ben Johnson. Now, this one, I am going to say overreaction for now. Just because it was week one, I mean, I think the Packers have a top defense in the NFL. So for your first game without Ben Johnson going against this defense, I can see why it was crappy, but I mean, it really wouldn't surprise me if this was to continue. So let me explain why. This duo in this backfield only rushed for 44 total yards. Gibbs, he had 10 receptions for only 31 yards. That's the least amount of yards ever while having 10 receptions. And not only were the running backs struggling, Amon Ra, he was only held to 4 for 45. Jameson Williams, the man they just paid, only went for 4 for 23. The only offensive player that had a decent day was Sam Laporta, and he went for 6 and 79. And I mean, we've been talking to this guy since the first episode. We got to shout out Tesla here. He had one catch, but it was a sick touchdown. So
It was a beast one-handed touchdown.
yeah,
It was a sick touchdown. But dude, I don't think. I mean, I think it is an overreaction that they're gonna struggle the whole season. But
yes,
I do think they are going to struggle the first couple weeks. I think they will right the ship at some point. I think there's just too many playmakers on that offense for them to not even be good. But to go against a team like the Green Bay Packers and that defense, and just think Micah Parsons, like we said, didn't even play much that game, but the rest of that defense is still fantastic, and they just made it life hell for Jared Goff out there. So I think as the season goes on, they're going to get a little more rhythm, they're going to get a little more chemistry, and they're going to work it out.
yeah, I agree with you. I think next week is going to be very telling, just because we just saw this Bears defense basically shut down the Vikings for 3 whole quarters. So I mean, and you guys will have.
And
Well, is
I
Jalen
mean,
Johnson coming back
exactly.
next week?
We'll have Jalen Johnson, we'll have Kyler Gordon, and TJ Edwards. So we were missing three of arguably our best defensive players. And again, for 3 quarters, we looked fantastic. I'll get into it more later.
Oh,
I've
oh,
got a whole
yeah.
rant I've got laid out for later.
But yeah, man, it's
But yeah,
just
that's
we'll see with this offense. We'll see next week. If they can come out looking good next week, then maybe we know the Packers defense is just that good. But man, if they have another fluke of a game, it'd be some tough sledding for this offense going forward.
Yeah, so that'll take us into the next over under reaction. I've got Russell Wilson will lose the job to Jackson Dart after this Sunday's game in Dallas. Now, I think it's closer to an overreaction than it is an underreaction. I do think it's only a matter of time before Russ loses this job to Dart. And the reason I say that is because Dable was seriously considering it. He didn't commit to Russell Wilson right away after the game Sunday, and for that, I think it is a possibility. The job's not his anymore after week 2, but I think it's going to be closer to like week 7 or 8, if not later, before we see Jackson Dart.
Yeah, man, I agree with that. And I think, oh man, I want to give credit to where I might have been the fantasy footballers that they were saying that Dable ended up going to ownership to talk about this quarterback change. So I think it's pretty clear that Dable wants to move on already. It's just maybe the higher ups in that team do not want that just yet. But I really don't see why. Why not? Why don't you just throw Dart out there? I mean, you just drafted this guy. He's I mean, it's Russ, man. Like, we're still doing this thing. Like, why he shouldn't have started over Fields last year. I think personally for the Steelers, and now he's just holding Dart back again. It's just I think it's time for him to get out of there, give the young guy the keys to the team, and it would be very very exciting to watch Dart and Neighbors play together.
And Dart looked great in the preseason, and I know it's just preseason, but he did look good. And the one redeeming thing that we had with Russell Wilson is the moon ball, right? He's going to be throwing it up to Malik Neighbors every play, and he just didn't do that. I mean, he just didn't look good in the slightest. Neighbors was so frustrated on the sideline that game, screaming at Dable. I mean, it's time to move on to Jackson Dart. I just think it's going to be a couple weeks before it happens.
Yeah, man. And oh man, speaking of some young quarterbacks, we'll get right into my next under overreaction. Caleb Williams is the worst quarterback from the 2024 class for what he was supposed to be. So, let me get into that. I think as of right now, this second, underreaction. I think Drake Mays looked better. Obviously, Jane Daniels has looked better. Obviously, Bo Nix has looked better. Now, the two question marks where I think it's too early to tell is Michael Penix Jr. and J.J. McCarthy. But, man, I mean, we saw what J.J. did in that fourth quarter, and I will say it was only that fourth quarter because the rest of that, your defense was shutting him down and that whole offense down. But, man, it's just they were throwing around the word generational for Caleb Williams, and I just personally, I don't think we've seen anything close to that just yet.
So we haven't, and I fully agree with you. That's an underreaction. I think he is, as of right now, the worst quarterback out of the class, and it pains me to say it, man. But I went through the all 22 film for this game against the Vikings. I watched every single snap from Caleb, and man, were there just a lot of bad moments. Again, there were moments as usual where he showed those flashes, where he looked like that number one overall pick. But we're in year two now. He can't be making these same rookie mistakes that he was making last year. I mean, too many footwork issues. He was missing throws. He was missing throws into the flat, sailing them 10 yards over Cole Kmet's head. I mean, it's just too many inconsistencies with this game, and he really needs to clean it up next week. And it's a big week for him and Ben Johnson as they go into Detroit. He's got to clean it up.
Man, it was just what he started off the game 10 for 10, right?
Yes. After that, it was.
What he had?
It was nowhere close.
20.
To 10
I think it was like 21 for 35 or something like that.
Yeah. So I believe he went 11 and 25 the rest of the game.
Oh
and
man.
There was just so many bonehead plays, not just inaccuracies, but there was a play where he went towards the sideline, and rather than just throwing the ball away, he tried to do too much again, trying to play hero ball, and he stepped out of bounds and took a loss of 4 in a situation where the momentum had already switched to the Vikings, and that just, in my opinion, that was one of the points that killed any hope of a comeback.
Yeah, man. I mean, while we're on the subject of this game right now, I really do think, man, it's just like you see when he rolled out and hit Rome on that sideline, man, it's like you see the flashes, but then you just see him play like dog crap for the rest of the game. It's just, I really don't. I really hope they figure it out because Caleb is a very, very fun quarterback to watch. The way you can see him evade pressure, he's honestly one of the best I've seen at that. And it's just, you see it that it's there, but for some reason, it's just not clicking. And I don't know if it's because Ben Johnson wants a guy like just rhythm throws. And we saw that to start with Caleb, but then when he started getting a little nervous when this game was getting a little closer, he kind of abandoned that and just went back to what he knows best is making the play himself and not having players make the play for him.
So all week long, Ben Johnson, he even said it in the press conference, he's preaching completions. That's the big thing, is just get in that rhythm, get completions, take what's given to you. And Caleb just couldn't do that all night long. He was behind on screens, like I said, overthrown on little flat routes, the check downs, and then he stopped taking the check downs and he tried to play hero ball and it just wasn't working. And then there were times where he just missed so many deep throws, which since being in the NFL, the deep ball has been one of Caleb's biggest flaws. He has been so inaccurate on deep balls, and he missed Rome, he missed DJ a couple times, and Ben Johnson was visibly annoyed at the amount of incompletions that he was making. So he's got to clean it up, man. I saw someone say this on Twitter that we gave Justin Fields 3 years before we said, all right, it's not working out, he's got to go, right?
Yep.
And I think that with Caleb Williams, he's not going to get 3 years. I think this is it for Caleb Williams, and that might be a hot take or an overreaction in itself, but I fully agree with it. I think the team around us is too good. Ben Johnson is too talented as a play caller and a mastermind on offense that we can't have a guy who's doing this, right? I'm not saying he needs to go out and have an MVP season this year, but he needs to be better and he needs to be consistent with his accuracy on throwing the football, or I wouldn't be shocked to see us move on from him to a vet.
Dude, it's just everybody was throwing around this word generational with him, and it's just you have Ben Johnson where He's been a top head coach candidate for a couple years now, and he has the keys to this team. But Caleb is just, dude, he's just not. He just needs to change how he plays. And I hate to say it because we saw how good he was in college, but it's just, I don't know if that's going to work for him in the NFL right now.
So one last thing I want to touch on this before we get into my final overreaction is I was going through some of my old Instagram posts from when I was, doing a little scouting work from that quarterback class, and I saw one of the weaknesses that I had listed was inconsistency when it comes to accuracy. So it's annoying to see that this is something that someone who's not an NFL scout, right? I don't claim to be a scout, but I was able to see that at the time, the inconsistency in footwork and accuracy, and it's just not been fixed yet. And that's what's so frustrating to see, is that this is something that, in my opinion, has been happening since college, but I thought that it would be able to be fixed.
Dude, man, I pray for your Bears, man, because that city is going to kill this guy. He keeps sucking because, man,
they're already against him.
Dude, did they get booed yesterday? Right? I thought I saw that they
did on their way out, which honestly, that happens even when we're good. If you lose a game in Chicago, you're getting booed. We're just like Philly in that sense.
Dude, and you got the Lions next week, too, which we'll get into a little later.
In Detroit.
Yeah.
In Detroit.
Yeah, it's going to be,
yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, we really will see. I hate to say next week is a must-win, but if they come out sucking
it's
again,
a must-win.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I'll get into my final over-under reaction here. Dolphins will fire Mike McDaniel by their Week 11 bye week, and I don't think this statement's an overreaction at all. I've been preaching it since the offseason that the Dolphins are not good. I think Tua's on his way out. I think Mike McDaniel's right there with him.
Dude, man, I agree with this just because we just saw how bad this Colts team. Guys, we haven't won a week 1 since we were in 5th grade. That was the last time we won a week 1 game, and we just absolutely murdered this Dolphins team. We scored on every possession, which hasn't been done in, I think, since the 70s. So it's just like, man, that defense is atrocious. Tua's supposed to be good in this like warm weather. He was awful. It's just, man, if that seat is gotta be hot very, very soon, and if it's like a couple more losses in the next month or two, this guy is gone, man. I 100% agree with you.
And we'll go into the right next segment here. We've got listener hot takes, and I wanted to go right into this because you were mentioning the Colts, and the very first listener hot take that we have is that Daniel Jones is going to win the MVP. I'll let you take this one away.
All right, man. This is where I was. I was very, very heavy. I mean, we know I wanted AR, the younger guy. Daniel Jones, I will start this off saying he proved me wrong, and he proved a lot of people wrong. And I can admit that he looked good, man. And I really do hate to say, I know we talked about this potentially being a thing. If he was to have like another Baker, Geno Smith type Sam Darnold resurgence, dude, he looks good for this team, man. He's exactly what we need. He makes the easy throws, and that was something that we were desperately missing. And with this team, he has the weapons, but there is no shot this guy is winning MVP. I don't know what crack you guys were smoking when you put this one in here, but there is no shot this guy's winning MVP. I just hope he can make us at least like a 9-win team. But hey, I mean, I love that you think like this, because that means that we'll do very, very, very good if he is in MVP conversations. So hopefully, but realistically, I think there's zero shot that one happens.
Yeah, I fully agree. There's zero shot Daniel Jones wins the MVP. Now, comeback player of the year, that's a possibility. But MVP, I think, is out of the just realm of possibility. But I agree with you that he is a perfect fit for your team. I mean, he does the easy things, right? The easy checkdowns, the easy passes, and he still has the running ability of AR. They don't call him Vanilla Vic for no reason. I mean, he's mobile, man. He is a lot quicker than it looks like. Yep. So
he's a big guy too.
Yes, yeah, he is a big guy. But next listener hot take, staying with the Colts, we've got the Colts are going to make the Super Bowl. And again, I'm going to let you take this one.
I promise this wasn't me on a burner account doing this because, man, I really do think we have a good enough team to go on a playoff run. The Super Bowl would be really, really, really insane, to be honest. But like I said, man, with the MVP, I just want us to make the playoffs. If we get to the playoffs, do we have the weapons to make a run? Personally, I think so. Tyler Warren looks to be that guy. He was number one PFF tight end this week. And it's just, oh,
He
thank
looked
you guys
good.
for that, especially Ryan Poles. Thank you very much. And I just really think if we can get in these playoffs, can we win a game or two? I think so. But I think the Super Bowl would be a long shot.
Yeah, agreed. I think the Super Bowl's a long shot. I could definitely, at the start of the offseason, I did say I didn't see you guys being a 9-win team. I said 6 was more realistic, and it's only week 1,
Yep.
so I'm not going to go crazy, but it's looking like it's a very, very possible thing. But I also just want to throw it out there. Remember who you played.
Yep.
You played the
Exactly.
Dolphins, who are not a good football team. And those are the games you need to win, though, are the teams that are not good, the games that are almost given to you. You got to win those, and that's exactly what Daniel Jones and the Colts did.
Yeah, man. And honestly, while we are on this Colts subject, let's hit this next one. The Broncos defense will not allow a touchdown until week 4, and will go back to back Defensive Players of the Year with Nick Bonito. Now, I don't know if you guys just heard, they got Danny Dimes next week. Broncos, Pat Surtain, take a rest. Danny Dimes is about to throw 3 touchdowns, 300 yards on you. We're ready for that defense. And like you just said about the competition, this is our real test. I think the Broncos, I mean, obviously, we know their defense is one of the best in the league. And I think it's crazy to say not allow a touchdown until week 4 when you play Danny Dimes this week coming up, and then the Chargers and the Bengals. I mean, those are some pretty good offenses. And going back to back Defensive Player of the Year, man, I think that would be. Benito is a dog. Don't get me wrong, and he just got paid 4 years, 120 million. But I just think some other guys in front of him, it's just going to be very, very hard to beat them out for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think they do allow a touchdown to the Colts this week. I I appreciate your hotness of your hot take, but I think I think they allow a touchdown every single week. Of these 4 weeks here, I think those are just 3 good offenses, 2 great offenses, and 1 Danny Dimes
Yep, we'll
offense.
see. Like I said, this is the
But
test.
the back-to-back depoy, I think I wouldn't put money on it, but I mean, he's already started off good. He had a sack against the Titans. So that's for a guy that you want to win defensive player of the year, that's how you want him to start off. So I won't knock that part of it. I don't think he'll be defensive player of the year, but I like that part more than your first half.
Hey, man. And then here we can get right in this next one. Now, this one, I want to hear what you think about this one. So, Jalen Hurts is straight garbage. Not even solid, but bad. He brings down the Eagles with his lack of throwing arm.
Oh man, I've been a huge Jalen Hurts truther.
Yep.
And I think this is ridiculous. Straight garbage is crazy. The guy won a Super Bowl MVP for a reason. He's not a bad quarterback. I do have to say, again, just week 1, so I don't want to overreact too much, but I'm starting to be a little on the edge of him being a top 5 quarterback. I'm kind of teetering towards the other side. But bringing down the Eagles with his lack of throwing arm, I don't think that's true at all. I think AJ Brown, I did see that he was dealing with a bit of an injury. It was kind of being used almost as a decoy this week. I think he's going to answer back this week with a huge passing game through the air. I think they're going to look really good passing wise this week. So yeah, I don't agree with this at all.
Me either, to be honest. I think straight garbage is crazy because if you're just saying he's straight garbage just because he can't, or lack of throwing arm, you put it, it's just he doesn't need to pass 400 yards a game, or 400 yards a game to win. It's just we know how good he is running the ball. You got the tush push with, if they get on the one, automatic Hurts touchdown. It's just like, I think for him saying straight garbage is wild, but I will agree with you that, I mean, if we see a couple more weeks of them winning but Hurts not really performing in the passing game, I think starting to be outside of the top 5 will be more realistic for Hurts.
Yeah, and one thing that it is a little frustrating is the talk of, the eliteness, right? With the not winning games versus winning games and doing what you need to do, and then people blaming him for what's around him. I think that's unfair.
Yeah.
I think he does what is given to him and does what is asked of him. So you can't knock him for having these all pro guys around him because I mean, how's that his fault? He performs well. You can call him a system QB all you want. I think system QB at this point has a negative connotation, which it shouldn't have. I think he is fantastic in this system. I think he is so so good in this system. So if you want to call him that, that's fine. But to call him just garbage, I will never agree with. But yeah, we'll get into the next hot take here. The Chiefs will not make the playoffs. I think it's not true, man. It's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. They're making the playoffs. No matter how they do it, maybe it's last week of the season, get the seventh seed or however it may be, they're getting in the playoffs one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think we need to talk much on this one just because you worded that perfectly. At the end of the day, Andy Reid's there, Patrick Mahomes is there. They'll get in the playoffs somehow, and even if they do just get the last seed, I mean, it's like I said, Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, he can take this team anywhere. So, yeah, we won't discuss that one much, but I think it's pretty clear that they will make the playoffs.
I mean, you could put me out there and a bunch of my friends, right? Everyone listening included, and Patrick Mahomes will take us to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, he's throwing to Hollywood Brown and Juju and an older Kelsey, man. So I really think if I pad up, I can go get 101 from Mahomes if he just dimes me. So
Agreed. And then we'll get to the next hot take here, which, oh man, I don't know if I can say this one, but so
come on, you got
Packers
this.
will win the NFC North and finish as a top 2 seed in the NFC.
I mean, you know what I think, man. I think that is spot on, and I really do. I just can't wait to see this team at full potential.
Oh, it hurts, but I agree.
Yeah.
I do think that they are the second best team in the NFC, right behind the Eagles. I think they're winning the North. Again, we're off-season champs as we always are, so I thought we had a chance, and we do not have a chance to win the NFC North. Playoffs maybe, but yeah, I think Packers easily win the North this season.
Yeah, I don't think it's really going to be tough, especially after seeing last night's game. I bet you the Packers were licking their lips watching that because I really do think by far they're going to be the best team in this division.
And then from that, we'll get into game recaps. So we're not going to go through every single game. We're going to go through some of the more important ones, some of the more exciting ones. And we're going to start off with the opening game of the season. We had the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. And this one started off with a bang, man.
Yeah.
We had an injury on the kickoff, and then we had Jalen Carter getting ejected for spitting on Dak Prescott. And we got a spit gate here. Did Dak spit first?
Dude, my take on it, he did spit first, but it was at the ground, and I think it wasn't close to him. But Jalen Carter, I mean, that guy's got a history himself. Not surprised that he did it, and I think he just got fined $57,000 for doing that one. So,
I mean, elite rage baiting
Yeah.
there from Dak Prescott. And then, so along with that fine, I was looking at kind of like the fine print that I think it was Schefter or Rappaport posted, and he technically did receive a suspension. But because he didn't play a snap against the Eagles or against the Cowboys, that game counts as his suspension without pay. So it was kind of like a, weird wording suspension, but he did get suspended, which has never happened before for spitting, which is crazy that this has happened.
crazy
before.
that we're talking about this right now, honestly.
But yeah, I mean, this was an exciting game prior to the rain delay.
Yeah.
Before the rain delay, this game was so entertaining, man. And then once that rain delay happened, all the momentum was gone, and it felt like I was just dragging on watching this game. The defenses were playing good, but they weren't even playing great. The offenses were just stalling.
Yeah, no, you said that perfectly. That this game was going to be so good before that delay, man. And for fantasy purposes, I was very in on Dallas. And, dude, I really think you see the stat line of Dak 21 for 34, 188, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I think he played a lot better than that stat line shows because CeeDee Lamb, man. Oh my gosh. I have Dak and CD
Brutal.
in fantasy. I got the stack in 2 different leagues. Dude, 4 drops, bro. 4 drops. Like he still delivered 7 receptions, 110 yards. But man, he could have went crazy. And honestly, I think they would have won that game too. So it was just a great division game. First one to kick off the year. And on the Eagles side, I mean, We saw Hurts running like crazy. Saquon got in once, and their leading receiver was Jahan Dotson. And that is not going to happen again, I think, personally. I think A.J. Brown, yeah, one target, one reception, 8 yards. You said he was dealing with an injury. I really, really hope that he really bounces back next week, or else everybody that has him in fantasy is going to be scared.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I do think they bounce back, but it's just not a great game passing wise from this Eagles offense when Jahan Dotson's your leading target, a leading receiver. But we'll jump right into the next primetime game. We had the Chiefs and the Chargers in Brazil. I forgot to mention that last week when I was doing my pick'ems, but they were in Brazil, not in Los Angeles. But it didn't matter. Chargers went up 27-21, won this game. Justin Herbert looked phenomenal and just outplayed Mahomes.
Dude, Herbert, I don't know if it's because he's dating Madison Beer now, but oh my gosh, this guy, he was so good, man. He went 25 for 34, 318, and 3 touchdowns. And man, Quentin Johnson, he finally learned how to catch the ball, and that ended with 5 catches for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns. Keenan Allen, welcome back, ended that game very good. 7 receptions, 68 yards, 1 touchdown. And then you had his safety blanket and Ladd going 6 for 74. And man, I just want to say, Amari and Hampton, it was fun to him to watch, and I cannot wait for him to play an easier defense because you just see how explosive this guy looks. And on the Chiefs side, we talked about him earlier, so I'm not going to get so into it. I mean, they just need to figure out something for this passing game. And honestly, I thought watching that game, they need to give Pacheco this ball more. This guy only had 5 carries, averaged 5 yards on each of those. But man, I just don't know. Like, he was by far their best rusher, and they stopped giving him the ball.
Yeah, I don't know why they went away from that completely. I do just want to say that I saw someone say that Quentin Johnston and CeeDee Lamb changed abilities there, and he gave his pass dropping over there to CeeDee. But yeah, Johnston looked great, man. People were really crapping on Marion Hampton there because he didn't put up a ton of fantasy points. But if you watch the game, you know he actually did good. He got stuffed a couple times, but the flashes were there. He's clearly going to be a big piece. Not Najee Harris just didn't get much of a workload at all, and I think that's not going to just be a coincidence. I think that's going to be a trend for the season.
Yeah, man, I do want to say, because I think he only had, it was like 7 carries. I think I did see Harbaugh say that that was his limit, but I don't think it matters. Like you said, I really just think Amarian is that dude, and he is by far more talented, and it's just a matter of time before he fully takes over that backfield.
100%. And we'll get into the next game here that we want to talk about. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23, Falcons 20. Game-winning field goal for the Bucks, or a lack of game-winning field goal for the Falcons, I should say. Younghoe Koo, what happened?
Dude.
Oh, man, Michael Penix led them down the field, and Penix looked great in this game, and they just couldn't capitalize when it mattered.
No, not at all. And it was just a weird, honestly, a very, very weird game for Atlanta's offense. I thought watching it, Tyler Algier only had 2 less carries than Bijan this game. Is Arthur Smith back in this team? I'm just very confused on why I'm not seeing Bijan get absolutely all the work. Yes, did he struggle? 12 carries for 24 yards, yes. But, I mean, Algier was 10 for 24, so they both really sucked this game, except for Bijan in the passing game. He went 6 for 101, by far the best receiving stat line on that team. Drake London, 8 for 55, and I'm pretty sure he got banged up. I think he landed straight on his shoulder, so he got banged up there. And Kyle Pitts, 7 catches for 59 yards. I don't think we're going to see what was he, like number 4 pick? I think that's totally out of the picture. But, I mean, if he can do that, I mean, that's serviceable for fantasy, too, and if you need a tight end. So, I mean, I think this offense will get a lot better going through the season. It was a rough week 1 showing, other than I thought, like you said, Penix looked decent on the eye test. But it was a weird game for the rest of that offense.
The only thing I want to talk about here is with that Falcons offense, man, and just their obsession with the pistol offense. The pistol offense is not a good offense for running the football. And it's just it's shown with this game that Bijan and Algier weren't able to get going because you don't have the momentum to carry yourself into the line of scrimmage coming out of pistol as opposed to single back, under center, even shotgun, where you're a couple yards more back, you have more room to pick up speed. You just don't have that coming out of pistol, and it's showing.
Yeah, that was, man, it was just they have too many playmakers on that offense for them not to be scoring a lot every game. And it's just if you look on the other side of it, some things that I saw Bucky, man, Bucky Irvin, this guy is the clear RB1 now. They're not making it anything close.
Yes.
The next closest to carries, so Bucky had 14. The next closest was Baker Mayfield with 5. Rashad White had 2, Sean Tucker 1. But what I really wanted to talk about, Emeka Egbuka. Dude, he is
two touchdowns.
4 for 67 and 2. And I saw a report this morning that said he called that second game-winning touchdown. He said if he runs a post that he's going to get this guy, and he for sure got that guy on that route. So it's going to be so fun.
He's the truth.
Dude, yeah. It's going to be so fun to watch when this offense is at full strength. When they get Godwin back, when they get McMillan back, it's going to be such a fun offense to watch.
Yeah, next game we got here was a game that I didn't expect to see so much offense. We had Steelers winning 34-32 against the Jets. Justin Fields.
Yep.
Whew, that's the real story from this game, in my opinion. Justin Fields looked like the Jets guy.
Dude, Justin Fields looked amazing. He was just hitting everything. He ended that game 6 for 22, 218, and a touchdown. And on the ground, 12 carries, 48 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This guy, I feel like for his whole career, he's only been, this guy is going to give you fantasy points. But he genuinely looked good yesterday, man. And that connection to him and his college wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, which he had a game himself, 7 for 95 and 1. Did he get absolutely popped at the end of that game by Jalen Ramsey? Yes, he did. But he was having a great game. And honestly, what I was surprised about most of this offense, Breece Hall. Dude, this offseason, like I said, I'm a big fantasy guy, so I do a lot of drafts. I did not touch this. I did not want him once. I literally did not draft this guy in any league. I thought he was done. But he had 19 carries to Braylon Allen's 6. And it just, yes, Braylon Allen did steal one of the touchdowns, but Breece looked good, man. That offense looked good.
He looked really good. The only thing that I want to say about Justin Fields, and the only downside, and again, I'm a huge Justin Fields guy. I always will support him no matter what. But at the end of the day, no matter how good Justin Fields played, the consensus around him is still the same. He's not a winner. When it mattered most, he couldn't get the Jets down the field to get a game-winning field goal. And it sucks to see. And I'm not saying that, he'll never be a winner. But it's still the kind of thing that's going to be talked about him.
Yeah, man. He just needs to figure out that part because you saw the rest of that game. He was doing great. It's just when it mattered the most, he came up short. But there was one thing I didn't want to talk about on the other side of the ball. Aaron Rodgers, man. Dude, I know you might have some hard feelings about this guy, but as a Colts fan, second favorite team, Packers, oh, man, was I so happy to see this. 22 for 30, 244, and 4 touchdowns. He looked so good with this team, and honestly, I really don't think that's going to change. I think that this team is set up perfectly to get a lot of wins, and if they get in the playoffs, I think they can make a run. Him and DK looked very good. At first, it was a little iffy, but DK ended the day 4 for 83, and Calvin Austin, I was very shocked because it was always, other than DK, what is there? And this week, Calvin Austin, 4 catches, 70 yards, a touchdown. He threw a touchdown to Ben Skoranek as well. And their rushing game still was a little iffy. Jalen Warren only went 11 carries, 37 yards. Kenneth Gainwell, which I didn't know it's 3 years ago again. I don't know how this guy's getting carries, but 7 carries for 19 yards. And Caleb Johnson, he only had 1 carry for -2 yards, man. What do you think about that whole situation there?
I'm not a fan of that running back room, and especially how they're going about it. I do think Caleb Johnson, whether you fully believe in him or not, I think he needs to be getting a lot more carries. He's the young guy. you got to give him more time. Um, man, the one thing I want to say about Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers offense, if I have to watch Aaron Rodgers in 2025 come into Soldier Field and win another football game,
Dude, it might
I
happen,
don't know what I'm
man.
gonna do.
Dude, it might happen.
I can't. I wanted him gone, man. I wanted him gone. But we'll get into the next game here. We got Dolphins Colts 33-8 win for the Colts. What do you think?
Man, like I said, I'll keep this short since we did touch on it earlier. Daniel Jones, 22 for 29, 272 and a touchdown on the ground, 7 carries, 26 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Like we said, he just led us to something that we haven't seen since the 70s. Tyler Warren, man, he is going to be so good. I cannot wait to watch this guy. He looks like by far the number one target there. And Michael Pittman, he had himself a day. 6 receptions, 80 yards, and a touchdown. I love to see that because I feel like the past couple years it's been more of Josh Downs, which he put up a stinker, only 2 for 12 this week. But hopefully he can bounce back. I'm pretty sure Jonathan Taylor, he did get a little neck injury, but they kept him out just because of the score. But we got to see DJ Giddens, 12 for 41, not bad at all. And honestly, I really do think next week is the biggest test for us just because we both think this Miami team is atrocious. Tua, man, holy crap. 14 for 23, 114 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. He looked awful. He looked terrible. Zach Wilson got...
And a fumble.
Dude, and a fumble. Zach Wilson got reps this game. I mean, that's all I got to say. I mean, for that offense, Devon Achane, I mean, only 7 for 55, and in passing, he did catch a touchdown, which was nice. Saved his fantasy day and saved the shutout. But Tyreek Hill, we talked about him. I think he's going to be off this team. Guess what? Jalen Waddle hurt again. Who would have guessed? This happens every game, it feels like. But, man, I am very, very happy that when we were honoring Jim Irsay this week, we killed this team. And, man, I cannot wait for next week to see if this was all a fluke or not.
Yeah, but you guys look good. The Colts look good. That offense looked great. Defense looked good. But I could say it 1,000 times. I've been preaching it. The Dolphins are not a good football team. That's all. That's honestly all I have to say about this game. It's just the Dolphins are not good. The Colts capitalized and looked good because of it.
Yeah, man. And I think just another quick game, because we did talk about it earlier, we can touch on real quick. Detroit Lions versus the Packers. Packers won that game 27-13. I mean, like we said earlier, Jordan Love had a pretty good game, pretty efficient game. Josh Jacobs, 19 carries, 66 yards, a touchdown. And honestly, receiving, nobody really went so crazy. Nobody had over 3 catches on this offense. And it was just very efficient game from Jordan Love. The Lions, man, we'll see if they're in trouble next week and a couple weeks after that. We got to see how they look without Ben Johnson. You had Jared Goff going 31 for 39, 225, a touchdown and an interception. Like we said earlier, the rushing game wasn't there. And honestly, other than Gibbs getting 10 receptions for 31 yards, which was the lowest ever for having 10-plus catches, I mean, Laporta, 6 for 79, that was it. And we already touched on Tesla, which caught the only touchdown of the game. But, man, this game is interesting for these Lions, and I think it just shows that these Packers are the real deal.
Yeah, the hate watch was not a good one. That's all I gotta say. The game that I've been looking forward to talking about the most is the Sunday night football game, and what is, in my opinion, on my Mount Rushmore of regular season games. Yeah. Bills 41, Ravens 40. This game was insane. I remember my friend, he turned off the game at some point, and I remember just spamming his phone. You got to get this game back on. Josh Allen is doing Josh Allen things right now.
Dude, the fans were leaving that game, man. Can you imagine if you left that game when they were down? Oh, my God, dude.
I'd be so mad. Like Josh Allen said, have a little faith, guys. Dude, have a little faith.
Exactly. And I want to say, before I get into the recaps of both of these teams, I was down, or I was up, what was it? I was up 44 fantasy points against one of these people in my league, and he had Josh Allen. Josh Allen finished with 42 points. I won that by 2 points strictly because Jair Alexander tripped up Keon Coleman on that game-winning drive, or else I would have been toast. So thank you, Jair.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
dude, oh my God, man. When I saw Keon
I'm
catch
the
that
biggest
and it was
Jair
wide
hater,
open,
dude.
dude, he just saved my week.
I loved it.
Yeah, dude, he just saved my week. But let's get into some of
Made
these
my
stats,
day.
man. Josh Allen, holy crap. 33 for 46, 394 yards, 2 touchdowns, and rushing 14 for 30, another additional 2 touchdowns. He was just, I mean, he showed why he's MVP that game. James Cook,
I mean,
what? No,
yeah, I just want to quickly add. So of those 394 yards that Josh Allen
Mm-hmm.
had in the fourth quarter alone, he was 16 of 21 for
Oh my
251 yards
gosh.
and a touchdown.
Dude,
I mean,
talk about just completely taking over a game. That's
oh,
exactly.
and 2 rushing touchdowns in
Dude,
the fourth quarter.
he's
So
man, he's insane. And honestly, it's just everybody on this offense was feasting, especially Keon Coleman. 8 catches for 112 and a touchdown. Easily could have had 140 plus and 2 touchdowns. James Cook looked solid, 13 carries, 44 yards and a touchdown. And honestly, which I was a little shocked at, it's just he was kind of the only. It was him and Josh Allen. We only saw Ty Johnson get 2 carries and Ray Davis only 1 carry. I thought that was
I
pretty.
was expecting more from Ray Davis.
Exactly. I thought that they would use him more in more of a committee with him and James Cook, but just because I mean Ray Davis is a solid player, and when it comes to receiving, other than Keon going off, you really just had Shakira went for 6 and 64. Josh Palmer looked solid, 5 for 61 in his first game, and Kincaid with one of the touchdown grabs, he went 4 for 48 and 1. Man, I cannot wait to watch more of this offense. And even on the other hand, man, here we go, dude. Listen to this stuff. Lamar Jackson. He didn't pass a lot, but 4 for 19, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns. On the ground, he went 6 for 70 and a touchdown. Derrick Henry, man, this guy, I don't understand how he has doubters because
He's an outlier.
Dude, every
He's an
single
outlier,
year,
dude.
man. He went for 18 for 169 and 2 touchdowns. And he even, I mean, he caught 1 ball for 13 yards too, and that's really not what he does, but dude, oh my gosh, is this just him and Lamar, man? It is just so fun to watch running the ball. And before I let you talk about this game, I need to talk about Zay Flowers. I've crapped on this guy every week.
You owe him an apology.
You wait. It's not changing. He is not doing this crap again. 7 receptions, 143 yards, 1 touchdown. I was curious because I was telling everybody, do not draft this guy in fantasy. Don't do it. This was his second best game of his career for fantasy. I don't think we're going to see this. We're not going to see 41 to 40 every week, but I don't know, man. He did very good this week. I will give him that, but I'm still not in on it. And real quick, you see D-Hop's little one hand snag for that
Oh
touchdown?
yeah, turn it back the clock.
Good to see it, man, because he's a dog. And, I mean, yeah, he's old now, but it was good to see that he's still got something in him.
Yeah, man. Last thing I'm going to add about this game with Keon Coleman is the guy who I've been iffy about because I invested a lot into him, man, in dynasty leagues. I drafted him in every dynasty league I'm in. I would trade up to get this guy because I think he's such a good player, and we hadn't seen it yet. But of his 8 for 112 in the fourth quarter alone, 7 for 95 and that crazy tip pass touchdown. So he showed up when it mattered most, man.
And, dude, it's just like you said, you got this guy in Dynasty. If he is Josh Allen's wide receiver 1, oh my gosh, is he just going to give us return of this value every single week? And I really, really hope we get to see it.
Yeah, man, last game to get into. This is the one I've been waiting for. Before we get into our pick'ems for week 2, last game, Monday Night Football, Minnesota Vikings 27, Chicago Bears 24. I'm going to let you say what you want to say first, because then I'm probably going to go for it.
Oh, man. So this game, I mean, we saw the Bears win this game for 3 quarters, and, dude, what? Like, I don't understand. Everybody, I don't know how much you were on Twitter during this game. You were raging. You were probably happy for most of it, but J.J. McCarthy, man, this guy did absolutely nothing until the fourth quarter. You heard the fans, bro. They were going crazy in that stadium. Most of that game, But, dude, JJ ended up going 13 for 20, 143, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. It's just, yeah, you see 13 for 20. He did enough for them to win. So, I mean, that's all that matters at the end of the day. What I really, really like to see for fantasy purposes, Jordan Mason. I was drafting this guy everywhere. He's their lead back. He had 15 touches compared to Aaron Jones' 8. It's just when it came to those short yardage situations and goal line work, it was all Jordan Mason, which I love to see. I mean, also, I want to say JJ had 3 total touchdowns. I forgot he ran one in. So he went 2 for 25 and 1 on the ground. And receiving, man, it wasn't really nothing crazy. I mean, when you only complete 13 passes, nobody's going to go absolutely crazy. We saw Aaron Jones, great catch, burn that defender. That was awesome to see. And Justin Jefferson, 4 for 44 and a touchdown. And on the other side of the ball, I'll keep this one a little short and sweet since I was talking about a little bit earlier. Caleb Williams, need to figure it out, but you need to stop throwing these hospital balls, man. I thought DJ Moore was dead, man. That dude was just laying there. He got absolutely murdered at the end of that game. And it's just, Caleb, you need to do something because I think you have so much talent in Rome Odunze just sitting there too. But, man, I mean, it was just a rough game for really everybody. Caleb, 21, 35, 210 yards, a touchdown. He put 1 in rushing. I mean, when your leading receiver has DJ Moore, 3 for 68, it's just, dude, you started off this game 10 for 10, and you just crapped the bed. And now what I've been waiting for, let's hear what you think about this game.
All right. So before I get into my real thoughts, I just want to tip my hat to JJ McCarthy and the Vikings. McCarthy looked great in that fourth quarter. He didn't let it get to him. He threw a pick six to Nashawn Wright, who was on the Vikings practice squad, which is probably a cool moment for him. But he didn't let it get to him. He showed up when it mattered most. And yeah, man, I mean, Brian Flores called a great game. He really mixed it up, was very conservative early on, and then as the game went on is when he started mixing up those coverages, which gave Caleb a lot of trouble. So hats off to him. Kevin O'Connell, as always, is one of the best coaches in the league. But all right, so Caleb Williams, man, oh, wow,
Yeah.
dude, he frustrates me so much because like I've said it 1,000 times, he has so much talent, and he just can't do it. And Ben Johnson, I saw people crapping on Ben Johnson. This game was not Ben Johnson's fault. If you watch the film from this game, Ben Johnson called a fantastic game. Caleb Williams just missed a million throws. He started off hot, and then after that, not only was he missing his checkdowns, he started refusing to take checkdowns, and then at the same time, he was refusing to throw the ball deep. It's like once that ball was snapped, it was in his head that I'm running. I'm taking off. I'm going to pull off some crazy stuff, and I'm going to try and make something happen because he missed countless deep throws to DJ Moore and Rome Odunze in this game, as well as Zacchaeus, who ran an occasional deep route. But he missed so many throws in this game, and it was just so frustrating. And you hear all off season long and people talking about Tyson Bagent, and you know it's crazy talk. But then you see a game like this, you're like, maybe it's not so crazy to hear, right? And again, I just want to say I'm fully on board with Caleb Williams. He is our guy, but he needs to clean this up, man. It's inexcusable the things that he's doing. But yeah, Ben Johnson called a great game. DeAndre Swift is not a good running back. Get the ball to Kyle Monangai a little bit more. Roshan will be back next week. We should have traded for Tank Bigsby, man, if he was on the block. And then DJ Moore looked good. DJ Moore looked good before Caleb tried to kill him. Last thing, one more thing I want to add. Brian Flores, the staple to beat a Brian Flores defense is tight ends and checkdowns, which Caleb didn't throw the tight ends over the middle, except for once, which Cole Kmet bailed him out with a crazy one-handed grab because Caleb was inaccurate once again. And Caleb just started refusing to take checkdowns later in the game, and that's what ultimately let the momentum shift to the Vikings, and then they just pulled away. And then Cairo Santos, get him off of my football team right now. That man has an absolute noodle of a leg. It's inexcusable in 2025 to have a kicker that can't kick the ball out of the end zone. And if that was the case, if we knew that he can't kick it out of the end zone, if he knows in his head, hey, Ben's asking me to kick this out of the end zone, I can't do it, kick it to the sideline. They're only going to get the ball 5 yards further, and we needed one stop anyways. So just bonehead that needs to get out of my football club. I don't care how accurate he is because he missed a kick as well on Monday night. Get him out of the football team. But I rest my case.
Dude, and I hate to say this, I don't know how much easier it gets for this team. I mean, we'll talk about our pick'ems here shortly, but they do got the Lions next week. And then you got a couple matchups that I think you guys can win: Cowboys, Raiders. Then you got the Commanders. Then you got the Saints. You know, if you guys lose
We
to
need that
that, you better
Commanders
burn
game.
every jersey that you have if they lose to these Saints. But then listen to this little stretch:
Oh
Ravens,
yeah, I'm ready.
Bengals. I'm going to say the Giants just because their defense is good. The Vikings, the Steelers, the Eagles, the Packers, the Browns. I mean, we'll see where they're at that late into the season. But their defense, they still got Myles Garrett. The Packers, the 49ers, and the Lions, man. It's just,
It's a brutal
dude, that
schedule,
is
and
brutal for what we saw yesterday.
last thing I want to say before we get into pick'ems, man, with that Vikings game, I was sitting there watching it, and I started thinking to myself, am I watching a replay? Because I've seen this exact same game about 60 times before. It's the same exact Chicago Bears, man. We can't finish out a game. We've blown a lead. We're up there with the Baltimore Ravens when it comes to blowing leads, man.
Hey, off-season
But
champs,
yeah,
though, man.
that's all I got. Oh, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this football team, man.
No, man,
But
it
I'm
really is
still there.
crazy.
Bear down, baby.
Yep. Still gotta have faith. It is crazy just because this is the second year in the row where, I mean, just from the outside looking in, seeing what you guys were doing, I was excited for the team last year. I thought they'd be fun, and I mean, one Jaden Daniels Hail Mary completely ruined their season, and seeing them win for 3 quarters, where I thought I texted my friend at halftime. I was shocked that you guys weren't killing them even more because it really was
We
a
should have dropped
dominant
40.
dude. It was a dominant game from you guys, and just JJ, that
We got to bounce
offense,
back.
that defense had stops, and you guys got a tough next week against the Lions, which we can start getting into our pick'ems here.
All right, so I'll go first with my pick'em. So NFL Week 2 pick'ems. We got Commanders on the road Thursday Night Football against the Packers. Unfortunately, I do think the Packers take that one. Next we've got the Giants on the road against Dallas. I think the Cowboys do right the ship and win this one. I think Steelers do beat the Seahawks at home. Rams take it on the road against the Titans. Josh Allen and the Bills have a good one against Justin Field at the Jets, but Josh Allen does do enough to win that game. I think Patriots continue to beat up on a bad Dolphins team. Bengals do enough to beat the Jaguars. 49ers kill the Saints, even if Mac Jones is in at quarterback. I think Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will beat the Browns, in which will be a shockingly close divisional game. I do think Bears right the ship on the road against the Lions, get a much-needed win. Broncos beat the Colts. Panthers beat the Cardinals. I think Eagles do beat the Chiefs. I think Falcons will upset the Vikings at home. I think Buccaneers will beat the Texans on the road. And then Monday Night Football, the second game of Monday Night Football, Chargers beat the Raiders on the road.
Very nice, and we'll get right into my NFL Week 2 pick'ems. So I'm going with the Packers versus the Commanders first. I'm taking the Packers. They're my Super Bowl pick. They looked great last week. I think we keep seeing that again this week. And then Jaguars going to Cincinnati. I think the Bengals take that one. We'll have a division matchup: Giants versus Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys. Bears versus Lions. I don't think it's getting easier for the Bears. Give me the Lions at home. Rams versus Titans. I'm taking the Rams. Patriots versus Dolphins. Drake May. If Danny Dimes just tore up this defense, Drake May should tear up this defense as well. 49ers versus Saints. Anybody that is going against the Saints, I am picking them literally every week. It's just Mac Jones, Trey Lance. You can come back to the team. It doesn't matter. Give me the 49ers. Browns versus Ravens. Give me the Ravens. Seahawks versus Steelers. I think what we saw from the Steelers was legit. Give me the Steelers. Bills versus Jets. I think this is going to be a closer game than people think, but give me the MVP and give me the Bills. Panthers versus Cardinals. This will be a close one, I think, and I'm going to end up taking the Cardinals here. Broncos versus Colts. Danny Dimes, give me the Colts. Pat Surtain, get ready. Eagles versus Chiefs. Give me the Eagles. Falcons versus Vikings. I'm taking the Vikings there to win against the Falcons. Monday night games. Buccaneers versus Texans. Give me the Bucks. And Chargers versus Raiders. This will be a close one, I think, but I'm going with Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
Yeah, man, we agree on a lot of games here. I do got to say, as the reigning Week 1, I believe, NFL Pick'em's champ
I was going to
of the
ask about that.
podcast.
How close was that?
You know what? Let me check my notes real quick. I believe I was 12-4,
Mm.
and you were 11-5 on the
Ah,
week.
dude, I knew it was close. I tried to peep at like halftime of the 3 o'clock games, and I was looking, and we were pretty close. It's gonna be good this year.
It is going to be good, man. So we'll get into the first game here. Thursday night football. Commanders on the road against Green Bay. We've both chosen the
Yeah,
Packers. What do you think about this one?
yeah, man. I just think Packers are one of the hottest teams in the league coming off of week one, and I think their defense, the more Micah plays, the better this defense is going to get. And we saw, real quick, can we talk about Debo Samuel from last week? I was 4 yards away from having a house of Big Mac on this show. So I'm very happy, very happy that Debo just missed it. But hey, he looked good. I'll give it to him. He looked very good, but I don't think that offense is going to be enough for the Packers.
Agreed, man. I think they do need to get Terry a lot more involved, man. And despite what everyone thought, our boy Bill Krosky Merritt,
Yep.
despite being listed as RB4, he did look great. I think he's gonna take the reps from Austin Eckler this week. But yeah, that Packers defense is too good. The Giants gave them a ton of problems. Giants have a great defense. I think the Packers have a better defense, and we're obviously gonna see more Micah Parsons. I think Packers will win this one kind of comfortably.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And with that, we can just get in. Let's get into some of these Sunday games. Jaguars versus Bengals. Pretty certain we both had the Bengals there. Um,
Yes.
I mean, dude, it was a slow week last week for the Bengals, but like I said last week, I thought that was going to be a close game. They almost got upset by the Browns, but we know how the Bengals go. They start slow every year, and I didn't see anything special out of Jacksonville last week, and I just think Joe Burrow and Jamar take it this week.
Agreed, man. I did like what I saw from Travis Etienne
Yep.
specifically, and I think fantasy reasons it kind of put some questions to rest a little bit about his role with the team. I think he is just going to be the solidified RB1 this season. But yeah, I still think Bengals take this one. Next game we got up here, we'll talk about the Rams on the road against the Titans. Just another brutal game for Cam Ward to have to deal with. Another great defense in the Rams, and we both chose the Rams this week.
Yeah, while we're talking about these Titans, dude, real quick. Last week, I put down two bets. One was Jerry Judy's over with 66 and a half yards. I put the over. He ended with 66. My second bet was the Broncos and the Titans, and it was the Broncos covering 8.5. Guess how that one ended? They only beat them by 8. So I lost both the bets barely, and I hate Cam Ward strictly because I thought that game was going to be a blowout, and even though his receivers can't catch the ball, as we saw his father react to in the stands,
Yes.
which was awesome because it was true, man. Dude, that guy puts so much zip on that ball. He's gonna be
Yes.
so fun to watch. I'm so excited for that. But it's just at the end of the day,
Got to get him some weapons.
dude, weapons that can catch, bro. Just like I don't know if receivers are just taping bricks on their gloves when they run out there, but I don't think it's going to be enough to beat the Rams. I like Stafford. We saw Puka a little banged up, but he did return, and I just think the Rams just easily take this game, to be honest.
Yeah, next game we'll talk about here quickly 49ers at Saints. I don't think there's much to even say on this game. Even if Mac Jones plays, I think they just have enough, even without George Kittle, to take care of the Saints.
Um, Dude, we'll keep this very very short and sweet. Like I said, I'm picking against the Saints probably every game this year until they face maybe the Giants. But actually, I'll still take the Giants there, man. What am I saying? I don't know if this team's going to win a game. Give me the 49ers. I know they're going to be banged up. Christian McCaffrey right now is still there. Ricky Pearsall should have a big week. And they just signed Kendrick Bourne, so we'll see if he gets any playing time this week. But yeah, give me the 49ers there pretty easily.
Yeah, man, kept it short and sweet. Shout out Sabrina Carpenter. Next up, we got Bills on the road against the Jets. Again, we both chose the Bills, but we both kind of said it. This is going to be a closer game than a lot of people think. I think Justin Fields and the Jets put up a fight here. And man, this is in New York, which while it's home field advantage for the Jets, it's not so much when it's against a team like the Bills because they're really close to each other.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's going to be close, like we both said. It's just, honestly, at the end of the day, give me Josh Allen if it is a close game. over Justin Fields, like we talked about. Justin Fields does have some trouble closing these games, and while I do think it's going to be a close one, I think at the end of the day, Josh Allen is just going to come out with the win.
Yeah, and next game we'll talk about here, Patriots on the road taking on the Dolphins. Again, we had the same idea here. We both chose the Patriots. I
Yeah.
just think that Dolphins team is not good, man. I think Drake may look good this past week. The team didn't do enough to win. I think you get Travion Henderson the ball in the ground game a bit more, and you take care of the Dolphins pretty easily.
Yeah, let me look this up to see if this was. I was looking at the betting lines. Patriots are the underdogs. What do you think about that one?
That's wild to me, man. I don't think the Dolphins should be the favorite for a single game this season. I mean, even if they play the Saints, which I don't think they do, I wouldn't even put them as an under or as the favorite, man.
Dude,
I don't like that Dolphins team.
I'll be honest, man. You sold me on the Dolphins this year because I do really believe that they are going to be so terrible. And just give me Drake May, man. Like I just said earlier, Danny Dimes just tore up this defense. So I don't care if they're at home. Give me Drake May and give me the Patriots there.
So I did just quickly check the odds for this one. So while the Patriots are the underdog, they're both really close. It's
Yes.
minus 118 for the Dolphins, minus 102 for the Patriots. So almost a pick 'em. I think by the time Sunday comes, it will probably be a pick 'em.
Yeah.
I think the odds will shift a bit. But yeah, that's crazy to me. Next up, we've got Browns at Ravens. Ravens are minus 700 favorites for a reason, man.
Dang. Dude, if you had to say a final score of that game, what do you think?
So I did say that it's going to be a close divisional game, and I do kind of think that's the case, man. I think, let's see, what's the spread here? 11 and a
11,
half.
yep.
I think Browns cover 11 and a half.
Dude,
I
yeah.
think they cover that spread.
No, I agree with you. Like I said, I mean, we saw the Browns nearly just beat the Bengals last week. And yes, the Bengals do start slow, but I don't think the Browns are that of a joke as other people think. I mean, they are getting Quinshawn Judkins back, which should be practicing with the team on Wednesday. That is going to be huge for them. Joe Flacco was very happy that he was coming back. And it's just, I don't think it's going to be enough to beat the Ravens. But I still think that with that defense, it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, man. Last thing I want to add here, since 2020, only 3 times has a game between the Browns and Ravens been decided by more than 10 points.
Wow.
So I think it is going to be pretty close there. And then next game we'll get into Seahawks on the road taking on the Steelers. Steelers favorites for this one, I think rightfully so. You know how I feel about Sam Darnold. We both chose the Steelers, but you know how I feel about Sam Darnold. I don't like him as a quarterback. I don't think he's that good. So as long as he's at the helm of that Seahawks team, I don't like taking them to win a game.
Yeah, man. I'm a big Aaron Rodgers guy, and I really do think that he is a perfect fit for this team. And I mean, we saw the shootout last week with Justin Fields. I think that this is a game where this defense, I mean, we see the Steelers defense. I think they're going to kill the Seahawks personally. So, I mean, it's Steelers, and it's Steelers pretty easily for me.
Agreed. Next game we'll get into, which we chose differently here. Broncos on the road against the Colts. And I mean, it's the odds are a lot closer than you would think, though. Minus 135 for the Broncos, plus 114 for the Colts. Broncos 2.5-point favorites. But yeah, man, I got to take the Broncos here. I think while I like Danny Dimes for the Colts, I think they beat up on a bad Dolphins team, and I think when Danny Dimes meets that Broncos defense, man, he's gonna be seeing double and think he's back in New York.
All right, I gotta ask you something. Are you gonna pick him against the Bears this year, ever?
Probably not.
That's how I am with these Colts. And give me Danny Dimes, because this guy is going to torch this defense. I am so ready to watch it. Pittman, I don't know if actually definitely have not had a 200-yard game. This is gonna be it. Dude, I'm so excited for this. But realistically, I mean, we both agree. I mean, I don't know. Dude, we say it at least 3 times a show. I feel like the Dolphins suck, man. They're so.
We'll keep saying it until you guys understand.
They are
how
so
bad.
trash. And realistically, this is exactly what we need. I think this is a great test for our offense, just because, like I said, Last week we did something that hasn't been done since the 70s, scoring on every single possession. And it's just, if you do that, Broncos are a great test the following week because their defense is so good. Now, I apologize in advance for the things I will be saying if these Colts win this game next week, man. Because if we can look good against this team, man, I'm going to be very, very happy.
Hey man, I hope so. It's better than tuning in every week to listen to me rant about Caleb Williams and the Bears. So next game we will get into.
Yep.
We'll talk about them. Bears Lions. Lions are 5.5 point favorites. I don't care. Give me Chicago. Give me Ben Johnson to walk back into his home in Detroit, plant that Bears flag in the middle of the field, and just take a piss all over the Lions, man. Give me Ben Johnson and the Bears.
Oh, man. Now, unfortunately, I went the Lions here. Now, couple reasons. I really do believe that the Packers are just that good. I think they're going to bounce back very, very heavily against your Bears next week. And I just really think this Lions defense is just going to confuse Caleb again. I really do think it comes to if Caleb starts playing where it's hero ball, they're losing that game. And I think that this defense is just too good. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Well, would I love a little revenge Ben Johnson? Yes, because I am a fan of Ben Johnson. It's just Caleb Williams is the one that I'm not confident in yet. And I think we see a bounce back from the Lions here. And unfortunately, I think we see a 0-2 start for your Bears.
Yeah, I can't pick against the Bears, but I also think that this game's just going to come down to Ben Johnson outsmarting the Lions and Dan Campbell, and I think he is going to go into Detroit and win this game. Man, I think Jared Goff historically struggles against the Bears and our defenses. It based off of what we looked like this week without T.J. Edwards, without Kyler Gordon, without top 5 corner and Jalen Johnson. I think we're going to have Jared Goff looking just like he did against Green Bay. The only thing that I could see going better for the Lions is their run game, which we did pretty well against the Vikings, but Jordan Mason looked good. So I think Gibbs and Montgomery are going to look good. So I think it's going to be a close one. I think we will edge this one out, though.
Yeah, man. With that, let's get into our next game. Panthers versus the Cardinals. What do you think about that matchup?
So we chose differently here. I'm sticking with the Panthers. All offseason, I said the Panthers were going to, look pretty good. And they just did. They fell flat. Week 1, they fell completely flat. Bryce Young looked more like his rookie self than he did towards the end of the season. Cardinals are 6.5 point favorites, but I'm not a huge fan of this Cardinals offense and Kyler. I think Kyler, this might be his last year as a Cardinal. I think they're going to be moving on from him pretty soon. So, yeah, man, I just think Panthers bounce back here, but I could also easily see Cardinals just blowing them out the water.
Yeah.
But if it's close, give me the Panthers.
Yeah, okay, I'll be honest. This one was very, very close for me because I can see either team winning, but now, did the Saints almost just beat this Cardinals team? Yes. But what scared me the most is exactly what you said about Bryce Young, and that is why I ended up going the Cardinals. He looked, if he would have played like how he was to end the year, easily this would have been Panthers for me. But he looked like his old self, and if that's what we're getting, I'm out on that for now. For now, like I said, I really do like the guy. I hope he figures it out. But we saw what he played last week, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, this is the week we see him step it up again. So just give me the Cardinals for now at home.
Yeah, next game we'll get into here. I don't think we talked about it. Giants on the road against the Cowboys. Cowboys 5.5 point favorites. We both chose the Cowboys. I think as long as Russell Wilson's out there throwing the football, I'm taking the Cowboys.
No, dude, hey, I agree with you there. It's just, like I said, I really, really do think that delay last week versus the Eagles killed what we would have seen from this Cowboys offense because, man,
Yes.
they were electric, and I don't think that Russ is going to do enough to keep up. So pretty easily here, just give me the Cowboys.
And then we'll get into the last Sunday game before the primetime games. We got a Super Bowl rematch. Defending champs Eagles taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Eagles 1.5 point favorites here, and we're both taking Philadelphia. I just think that with the receiving help and the receiving room that Patrick Mahomes has over there in Kansas City, I don't like their their outlook on offense, and we're actually gonna hopefully see Jalen Carter this week, unless Patrick Mahomes says something to him. So as long as Jalen Carter plays, I think we'll be fine. Because even though the Eagles are weak at corner, the Chiefs don't have a receiver to really take advantage of that.
Yeah, and that's honestly what decided this game for me. Give me the Eagles this one. I think it's going to be a good game. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Mahomes could. It don't matter who he's throwing to. He can win you a game. But it's just at the end of the day, the Eagles are by far the more complete team. And honestly, I hope we see some from Jalen Hurts. Like you said, you think it's going to be better. I really do hope it's better because I hate that everybody talks trash about him because I think he's a great quarterback. So in a big game like this, where everyone's going to be watching, I really do think we're going to see the Eagles take this one.
Yeah, man. Sorry, recording just messed up a little bit there, so I had to get it going again. But
Oh, you're good.
yeah, next up we've got Falcons on the road against the Vikings. So I chose the Falcons for this one. You went with the Vikings. I just think that the Falcons, I liked more of what I saw. We only saw really one good quarter out of the Vikings there. So I do think Penix is going to look good again. I think the running game is going to get going a little bit more. And yeah, I just think they're going to do enough to beat McCarthy and the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of JJ. To be honest, that's where I ended up leaning here. I think that last quarter, because like we said earlier, they were horrendous those first 3 quarters, and that team saw that he can put them on their back and lead them to a win. And I think that momentum from that is just going to lead them pretty easily to a win here. The Falcons may be without Drake London. I can't remember if Mooney is back yet. He might be. I can't remember if he was, but I really just, regardless if he is or not, I'm still taking the Vikings here, as I really do think it's going to be a very good game. The over-under is 45.5. It should be pretty entertaining game.
Yeah, then we'll get to the first of our Monday Night Football doubleheaders. We've got the Buccaneers on the road against the Texans. We both chose the Buccaneers. I mean, the Texans defense might keep it a little bit close, but until they try and get CJ Stroud from help, man, he's got the worst offensive line in the NFL.
Yeah, pretty easily too, to be honest. It's just here, let me pull this up real quick.
I mean, I saw some clips from this game really quick while you're pulling that up.
Oh yeah, yep.
And that the Rams were running basic like day one stunts on their on the defensive line, and the Texans offensive line looked like you just asked them to do some like astrophysics, like some crazy stuff, because they were just dumbfounded, and all it was just the D tackle and the defensive end switching spots.
Dude, it's just that offense, which sucks because I really did want to see CJ Stroud turn not back into his rookie season, but a little bit more of that than what we saw last year. He went 19 for 27, 188, and a pick. Nick Chubb, believe it or not, he's still there. He's still running for 4.5 a carry. Yeah, seriously, 13 carries, 60 yards. He looked good. But man, their receiving game. Now let me read you all some of these stat lines. You tell me which one's Nico Collins. 2 for 32, 2 for 30, 3 for 28, 2 for 27, 3 for 25, 4 for 22, 2 for 17, 1 for 7. Does any of those sound like a top receiver in the game?
Dude, especially for a guy who you were preaching about Nico Collins and about him being about him being the number one fantasy receiver. Not a great start.
Dude, not a great start at all. And I don't know if this was a sign or something. I ended up getting 0 shares of Nico Collins. My auction league, where I really did plan on getting, because my auction league was the first and there was games on the 4th. So that was my last chance to get people that I wanted, and I really wanted a share of this guy. Ended up going for way too much than I thought. And man, am I honestly kind of happy, because I went with CeeDee Lamb instead. So, dude, they need to figure out something, because it was 3 for 25, man. 3 for 25 on 5 targets. Like, Stroud, you need to be better at getting this guy the ball, because he was spreading it out a lot. But when you have a top receiver like Nico Collins, man, this team's doomed. This team's doomed. They trade away their only offensive lineman. It's gonna be a long season for those Texans.
I think the only thing that's going to keep them in games this season is if CJ Stroud's able to play hero ball mixed with they have a great defense, man. If that defense can get them some turnovers at some nice positions, maybe we could see some touchdowns on the offense
Yep.
for the Texans. But yeah, other than that, we'll get to the last game of the week, the late night Monday Night Football game. Chargers on the road in Vegas against the Raiders. Chargers 3.5 point favorites here. We both took the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to be really good this year, man. But the Raiders look good. I like the veteran leadership there. Geno Smith, you got fantastic playmakers around him. This could be a close divisional game that the Raiders, I mean, they might take this one, but I'm still siding with the Chargers.
Dude, it kills me these first 2 weeks picking against these Raiders because I love the Raiders this year. But dude, it's just the Chargers, man. They looked so good, man. And if
Hmm.
Justin Herbert's playing like that, they're going to be a very, very hard team to beat. And this game is going to be a lot easier for Hampton to run than it was last week. Dude, the Chargers can be a very, very dangerous team. And if they keep, I thought they were going to be a run heavy team, but dude, they were just airing the ball out like crazy. And I don't think that's going to change. And I do think it's going to be close, but at the end of the day, just give me Justin Herbert and give me the Chargers to win that one.
Agreed 100%, man. Um, yeah, I just think Justin Herbert, if he looks anything like he did last week, they take that one. They take that one probably pretty easily too. But do you have any upsets of the week that you're looking at here? Potential upsets?
Give me, give me the Browns beating the Ravens.
Browns over the Ravens. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Give
I
me the
like
Browns.
it.
Give me the. I really did think that the Browns could beat the Bengals last week, and they kept that very close. And like the statistic you said earlier, it should be a close game, and it's just I feel like there's one game where Lamar completely craps the bed, and I feel like against this defense, this could be it.
Also, coming off of a loss like that against the Bills, the Ravens might be in their heads a little bit. So the Browns might look to take advantage. If I had to go with an upset this week, I I think we were just talking about it. Raiders over the Chargers. I'm still taking
Yep.
the Chargers, but I could easily see Geno Smith and the Raiders go, at home, defending their home turf and taking care of Justin Herbert.
Yeah, man, I could definitely see that. Like I said, it kills me to pick them, but we got some good games this week, man. I'm real excited to see how these go.
Yeah, and then as always, I just want to say NFL hot takes. We do them every week. Leave them below. Week 2 NFL hot takes. We'll review them on next week's episode. So go ahead and leave them below YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you're listening. Go ahead and leave those hot takes.
Awesome. And then real quick, we can touch on there wasn't crazy NFL news. It was actually a pretty knock on wood injury-free week. We just really had it looks like one team get affected here. So, the big news, George Kittle hamstring placed on IR. He's going to be gone for the next 4 games. And their quarterback, Brock Purdy, left shoulder and toe injury, possibly out against the Saints. Jawan Jennings was a little banged up. He did leave the game. I think he came back, but he's all cleared. He's day to day, I saw, so he might be playing this week against the Saints. And I mean, really, that was really all the injury news we had this week. It was pretty quiet on that end.
Yeah, which is always good for both the players, fantasy, and the teams, right? You never want to see guys get injured. So that's going to be pretty much it from us this week. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, if you're still here listening, go ahead and leave a like, comment down below your favorite part of the episode. What's your hot take? Who's your pick for this week? Your upset of the week, your dog of the week, if you want to call it that. But we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.